She's a girl from business world McBusiness that isn't respected. And they're two guys from there also. And they've been isekai'd in another world. You know them, you love them. They're from your favorite anime that never existed. And since we just got official art of a new character, it's time that I make some fan art of our favorite show. I want to unify the kingdom, but the second male lead is too indecent. And yes, my Patreon members did not vote for this. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to take me some time before I get the video essay done. So as a buffer, I just already wanted to make fan art for them anyway. So might as well make some content while I'm at it. So yes, I'm drawing these three characters in their love triangle that maybe ends with poly. I don't remember. It's been too long since the video actually came out. Like, I also don't remember any of their names. But I wanted to, this guy is very much like my Oran High Host Club phase. Like, I just imagine he's a Prince Charming, and he has a sword and a rose, which is very shoujo coded. And I really enjoyed Julia's design of him because he is like a Prince Charming, but he's also kind of giving Fire Emblem. And those are just things that I enjoy, aesthetically speaking. So there's nothing to be mad at. I like that he's sort of the more uptight one. And yeah, I didn't make too many wild changes to his outfit. Like, obviously, I think the cape and how close it was cropped in on Julia's drawing gave me a lot of like ability to take liberties, which is always fun as an illustrator. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is I just wanted him to have that little anime face that's just so kind of generic webtoons that we all love, because there's a reason we read those generic webtoons, because they are good. And also, I have no idea how the hilt of a sword looks. To this day, I don't like drawing swords, yet I keep writing stories and reading stories with them in the whole thing. Sword fights are fun in theory, but why do we have to draw them? It just makes everything difficult. But yeah, I just wanted all of these three to be in the foreground, and then I wanted to have the kingdom behind them. And then here we have the second male lead. He is much more JoJo inspired, because besides JoJo having great fashion, I felt like their luscious lips and sort of like sultry eyes just gave more indecent to me. And yeah, he's extremely problematic. He is always dropping his pants inappropriately. It's not good for him. He should be canceled. But yeah, it's a problematic anime that we enjoy to watch. What are you gonna do? I love the skimpy little underwear that I put him in. Right here, I wanted to talk about that. So her proportions were giving too child to me. Like, I know in anime sometimes it's not based off of children, but they are supposed to be modeled after cats, which is why they have tiny bodies and big heads. But for me, I was just like, I need to use the liquid tool and really, make her waist larger and her torso larger and her head smaller. And I really like how it came out. But for some reason, when I was capturing this on Procreate, it just sort of like bubbled like that. So not sure what that was about, but that was the liquify tool just then. And then here I was kind of negotiating with the form, like, how do I want to capture her facial expression? Because originally it was just going to be sort of like cute girl face, and I was like, no, it's an anime, it should be so expressive, she should be so embarrassed by the second male love interest, so I wanted her covering her eyes. She's averting her gaze, but she's also like really into it, but she's also embarrassed, so lots of blush, big screaming, huge eyes. And I just enjoyed getting to make her look so flustered, and those like black, really dark bits on the inside of her eyes, like the corner of her eyes, like where her tear ducts are, were inspired by Yellow Diamond from Steven Universe, because I love whenever she's being expressive, she has those big black sort of marks right there. Like, they can denote stress or age in a way that I just find very appealing and satisfying. So we have to draw a big, beautiful, lovely skirt, princess outfit. I'm just sort of riffing off of the design by Out Drawfee, because it was so good and I enjoyed it. I like that she was in purple. I end up keeping that too, even though we're not in the coloring stage. I had a little trouble with these shoes because, I don't know, y'all, it's that time. I need to just spend a day or maybe make a video where it's like I practice drawing feet and hands for 3 hours or something. Like, I need to put in the work because I'm getting so unsatisfied with my feet and hands. I make it work, but it's just one of those things that I wish I had more of a shorthand, but no pun intended. But yeah, I just wish I I had more mileage on my practice for those particular extremities. But you know what? I'm really good at drawing hair. Look at that. Look at this hair. Look at those bangs, how I zhuzhed them. Oh, so good. In the original drawing, there were no bangs, but I was like, honey, she needs the bangs. They just look so cute. And now I'm doing the coloring of her red hair, and I love this blush. It's right now a little too pink. I end up making it just much more of a traditional scarlet because it is blood, you know? I thought the magenta might be kind of fun because it's like within the color scheme. And then I'm doing her magical girl kind of scepter. Maybe she's a magical girl, maybe she's not. She's just a princess with a lot of power, or queen, or whatever. And yeah, I use the dropper tool, which I don't normally do. Normally, I avoid that because I never close my lines. And if I was in Clip Studio, it would be easier, or even in Photoshop. But I'm in Procreate, and that's the one thing Procreate sort of lacks in, and that is the dropping the color options. Yeah, I used a reference layer for all those wondering. If you don't know what that means, girl, I don't know how to explain it. I'm drawing a castle now, which is partly inspired by Disney. But yeah, I just looked at several different castles on the internet, and then also the Candy Kingdom, and I sort of imagined them overlapping each other, and then I just drew trees. I don't know, just kind of vibing and wanted to include little details in the background as well. For the little houses around the castle, I did look up a very particular image, and that's of Hilda, because I just love how Hilda's like this really fun fantasy setting, but it's still a city, but it's still kind of medieval. So, you know, it has those like fantasy trope elements. And now I'm doing the colors, which are inspired. This is just a list of me telling you guys what I'm inspired by. Maybe I should make jokes or something, but I was inspired by Mary Blair and her colors. She was a concept artist for Disney, and she made this piece for Peter Pan where the sky was green, and I don't commit that much, like the sky isn't super, super green in this image, but yeah, it's greener than I normally would make it because I've just been into Mary Blair recently. But then I got a comment from Tuppence Pies who wanted me to add some buff lady knights in the background who maybe they're in charge of keeping in check the second male lead. And I thought that was good. Instead of the knight flirting with a noble woman, I have her just floating with like this more peasant maid sort of archetype, and I have them on the second hill with next to this like tent, which was inspired by the Legend of Zelda, how in Breath of the Wild there are the horse inns that are like these weird tents but also inns that you can stay in. And now I'm just coloring the peasant maid and the buff lady knight. I think they're cute. They're very squat and chibi because they're far away, but you know, I think they got the job done. I hope you like them, Tuppence. I did them just for you. And I was surprised. I didn't get very many comments about what people wanted in the background of this one. I was really willing to put a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So that's another perk of joining the Patreon. Just, you can comment what you want to see in the back of these videos. It's really fun. I enjoy it. And then for the forest, I started using some of the like assets that I have, which, you know, I think I use most famously in my Ribbit Ranger video. But I decided to just use good old-fashioned drawing it by hand. I wanted it to be very graphic and just have these big cast shadows and not go for super hyper real textures because I wanted to keep that graphic quality. The only thing I really texture heavily is the cherry blossoms I have against the you know, that separate the ground from the water. I do, you know, use a lot of shading, so it has the illusion of it being heavily textured. And then the water behind the castle, I do use the Procreate water tool because it's just so fast and easy. So yeah, there will be some texture there as well. And yeah, I'm just sort of finishing everything up. We're getting the shadows on the back of the castle just so that, you know, everything recedes into the background. And I didn't know whether to make this a yellow brick road or a path. Yeah, so this is me trying to make it a dirt path, and then I immediately abandoned that, and I'm like, I'm doing yellow brick road. I don't care. I know this isn't Oz. Sometimes the road is yellow. What can you do? I just took a break to go look at the wiki, and I forgot how much lore was actually in this video. It is a shockingly well thought out, like season by season breakdown of this non-existent anime. But I remember all their names now. So the middle girl, her name is Princess Bridgeton, aka Bridget, And the male lead with the rose, his name is Dick, short for Richard probably. And the second male lead is the iconic Dalton. And yeah, that was just really fun to like reread all of the wackiness of this non-existent anime, especially because like the love triangle is just so funny, and with the fact that Dick's name is synonymous with the thing that keeps falling outside of Dalton's pants, it causes all this miscommunication drama, which is just so, indulgent and fun. And so now you can see that I've been drawing for a hot second. The newest character added to the canon, who was discussed in the first video but didn't get official art until Nathan just drew him like about a week ago, time of recording. And yeah, this character's name is Adam. He is the tailor, or the pantsmith as he's called in universe, who makes all of the trousers for the second male lead, and he has a crush on Dalton, which I think is just so charming and endearing. So I drew him in that stereotypical anime pose where the person with the crush is biting a napkin and has these big watery teary eyes. However, instead of a napkin, it's just like the leg of a pant. I was gonna make it the entire pants, but I just ended up liking it being just this little one sleeve. Do you call pants each tube a sleeve? I don't know. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of, is the rest of the pants just in his mouth? You don't know. But I like to imagine that they are, because he's just kind of quirky like that. So I'm a big fan of Adam. I originally was going to have him coming out of the trees like you saw, but I've moved him to the more practical, like he's running to let them know, like, sire, the kingdom's under attack. Because I imagine that our main three are going off on like some quest, or they're doing something in the countryside, and maybe there's a dragon that just landed in the kingdom or something. I don't know. So I tweaked his colors a little bit, as you can tell. I made him much more monochromatic with white hair, just because I was like, he also is an anime lead in his own right in the spin-off series, so we had to give him some like more quirkier colors. But yeah, this is the finished illustration. I did it! This video has been a long time in the making, and I'm so glad that you stuck it out and you got to see this wacky adventure. What do you think of I Want to Unify the Kingdom, but the second male lead is too indecent? It really should have a webtoon or a webcomic. But I'm drawing loose right now. Who knows? Maybe in the future I'll draw like a one-shot of them or something. If you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and if you really want to support the channel, please check out my Patreon, link down below, where for just $4 a month, you can have your name in the end credits. And speaking of end credits, here they are now. Special thanks to Anna Sophia Boyd, Axelius the Great, Bodhi, Blue Uwu, Bobby, Beck, Cake Daniel, Kay Clark, Christopher, Dabdudu, Aaron Martin, Dax Quinn, Emma Wee, Gay Jarris, J. Johar, JD Boy 2000, Johan, Elizabeth, Hudis, Laka2, Geek Girls Rule, Kitsune Chibiko, Lucky Paradox, Melon, Mild Mothman, Mistake, Native Runner, Orion Amastasia, Pinecone, Potion, Cellar Door, Rin, Scorching Ray, Sir Camelot, Small Sax Jammer, Shenanigans, Tad the Turtle, Tarthliner, The Real Michael, Thumper Daytime, Tony, Tortilla Chips Tuesdays Anyways, Tuntra Katie Bean, and Tuppence Pies. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nathan, and I'll upload a new video real soon. Bye!